The small town of Crestwood had always known Pastor Elijah King as a beacon of hope and righteousness, a man who walked with God, a man who lived for his family, his loving wife Naomi, and his two beautiful children, 8-year-old Daniel and 6-year-old Sarah. But the townsfolk had no window into the darkness that festered within their pastor. They were blind to the storm brewing beneath the surface. None could have predicted the horrific acts of violence that would shatter the peaceful facade of Crestwood. Blood would stain the pulpit, and the man they revered would become a prisoner of his own rage. The truth, as it often does, emerged from a place of innocence. A simple desire to learn more about their ancestry led the King family down a path of no return. A path paved with deceit, betrayal, and ultimately devastating consequences. The DNA test, meant to be a harmless exploration of their family history, became the key that unlocked a Pandora's box of devastating secrets. Secrets that would forever alter the course of their lives. Pastor Elijah King was a pillar of the Crestwood community. His sermons resonated with the congregation. His words offered solace and guidance. He was a source of comfort in times of need, always ready with a kind word and a compassionate ear. His family was his pride and joy. He cherished every moment spent with Naomi, Daniel, and Sarah. Their laughter filled their home with warmth and happiness. Elijah had met Naomi during their college years. She was studying literature, her passion for words evident in the way she spoke. Elijah, drawn to her intelligence and warmth, fell deeply in love. Their courtship was a whirlwind of shared dreams and stolen kisses. They married young, their love for each other unwavering. Daniel and Sarah were the embodiment of their love, their presence completing their family. It all began with an innocent gift. Naomi had surprised Elijah with an ancestry kit for his birthday. A fun project for the family, she had called it, a way to trace their roots and uncover hidden stories from their past. Elijah, though initially hesitant, warmed up to the idea. He had always been curious about his heritage, his father's side of the family shrouded in mystery. The test arrived, a sleek package promising to unlock the secrets held within their DNA. They laughed as they swabbed their cheeks, the children giggling as they mimicked their parents. It felt like a game, this exploration of their genetic makeup. Little did they know that this seemingly harmless activity would unearth a truth so devastating that it would shatter the very foundation of their lives. The results, when they arrived, sent a shockwave through their peaceful existence. A shockwave that started as a tremor but quickly escalated into a full-blown earthquake, leaving their world in ruins. Section 4. The Crushing Truth. The email arrived on a Wednesday morning. Elijah, sipping his coffee, clicked on the notification, his pulse quickening with anticipation. He scrolled through the initial results, his eyes skimming over percentages and genetic markers. Then he stopped. His blood ran cold. The words on the screen swam before his eyes. He read the sentence again and again, each time the truth hitting him with the force of a physical blow. Daniel and Sarah, his children, were not his. Panic seized him. His mind raced, struggling to make sense of the impossible. He reread the results, clinging to the hope that it was a mistake, a technical error, anything but the truth that stared back at him in stark cold letters. His gaze fell upon another section of the report, a section he had initially overlooked. It listed close relatives identified through the DNA database. The name at the top made his heart lurch. Henry King, his father. But it wasn't the presence of his father's name that chilled him to the bone. It was the relationship listed next to it, 99.99% match, indicating a parent-child relationship. Daniel was his father's son. Section 5. Confrontation and Confession. The revelation hit Elijah like a physical blow. The world around him seemed to tilt on its axis. The laughter of his children, once a source of joy, now felt like a cruel mockery. His whole life, his entire reality crumbled around him. He confronted Naomi, his voice trembling with a potent mixture of rage and anguish. Her initial attempts at denial crumbled under his intense gaze. The truth spilled forth, each word a fresh wound on Elijah's already battered soul. Naomi confessed to a long-standing affair with Elijah's father, Henry, a man he had loved and respected, a man who had betrayed him in the most unimaginable way. She spoke of coercion, of fear, of Henry's manipulative hold over her, but her justifications fell on deaf ears. Elijah's world had shrunk to the size of his betrayal, the enormity of it eclipsing all reason and logic. He felt a surge of hatred, raw and consuming, towards Naomi and his father. The man who had taught him about God, about love and forgiveness, had violated the sanctity of his life in the most unforgivable way. Section 6. The Fury of Betrayal. The weight of betrayal crushed Elijah. His world, once filled with the warmth of faith and family, turned cold and desolate. The man who had dedicated his life to spreading God's word was lost in a labyrinth of his own despair. His initial shock morphed into a chilling resolve. He would have his vengeance. He would make Naomi and Henry pay for their sins. Driven by a potent cocktail of rage and heartbreak, Elijah meticulously plotted his revenge. He would become the instrument of their punishment, delivering justice in its most brutal form. The darkness that had been slowly consuming him now took complete control, twisting his thoughts and actions. The gentle pastor, the loving husband and father ceased to exist. In his place stood a broken man, fueled by an all-consuming desire for retribution. Section 7. The Price of Vengeance. The once peaceful town of Crestwood became the stage for Elijah's chilling act of retribution. The details splashed across newspapers and whispered in hushed tones sent shockwaves through the community. The revered pastor, driven to the brink by the ultimate betrayal, had taken the law into his own hands. He had become the very thing he preached against, a harbinger of violence and despair. The aftermath was a tapestry of shattered lives. 2 children left orphaned, forever scarred by the sins of their parents and the actions of their father. The congregation left grappling with the horrific actions of their once revered leader, and Elijah, his rage spent, sat in a cold, barren cell, the enormity of his actions crashing down upon him. The man of God had succumbed to the darkness within, trading his righteousness for revenge. His story, a cautionary tale of betrayal, despair, and the devastating consequences of unchecked rage, served as a chilling reminder that even those who walk in the light can stumble and fall into the abyss.